Good morning, Karoo. It is Saturday the 16th of April. And this is an update on Isvren and our activities here in Carnarvon. Crazy day yesterday. So I actually took a bunch of video footage, which I may just cut in at various points here because I probably have more footage of various things than I'm going to talk about them. So I'm going to tell you what the 5 topics that I have notes on here are, and then if footage comes up, you'll be able to intuit what it's about. So the 5 things are wood boring insects, acquisition of more stuff, Isvren website, and house plan stuff with Craig, which continues at a pace, sunset, and Peldroid, which is Welsh for soccer. So footage that comes up at various times, that's what it is. Let's start with the common furniture beetle, which is, I think, what we found in the windowsills in the bedroom that we're sleeping in. Although I'm not an expert on species of wood-boring insects. Yeah, we knew that that there was signs of wood-boring insects various places on the property, and there were these beetles, which you'll see footage of right here, that Sarah noticed when she opened the window up in that room. And the good thing is, hopefully, I did some stuff online, and it looks like in the short term there's no concern about structural damage as long as we get it treated relatively soon. I ordered some chemicals to treat what we can see, and Kimberly Gulf is a contractor that's doing our damp course work, but they also deal with infestations. So when they come, they'll take care of it all. So yeah, but it is kind of a pain in the butt it's a little disconcerting to see these little guys and the signs, the little dust around the windowsills, that you know they're boring out the wood. So that was exciting. First thing in the morning, that's what we saw yesterday. And then most of the day was taken up with acquiring goods or trying to get rid of goods, which seems a little ironic. But we had ordered, Sarah had ordered sheets. She ordered them previously and they were the wrong size. So new sheets. Our internet was getting installed. We actually had purchased an easy chair at a thrift shop, and that was getting delivered. I'd ordered a pressure washer and friction tape, and you'll see all those things. And they all came at various times. The internet seems to be working more or less. The pressure washer came and I assembled it. Friction tape you see. The adventure was kind of with the furniture. So the air ambulance charity shop, Sarah had talked to them and they said they'd come and look at our furniture and see if there's stuff they wanted to take, of everything we wanted to give away. And I kind of thought that there wasn't going to be a lot they were going to want to take, but we have this one twin bed that's really nice that we want to get rid of, but it's lovely, but it's on the the second floor, so it's right at the top. And the guys came and walked through and they looked at everything, and the sofa that's on the first floor, they're like, it's a little too ratty, which we expected. But then there's a bunch of like nice chests of drawers and everything, and they basically, I think as a token, took one nightstand and they said they didn't want anything else. And I'm pretty sure it's just because they didn't want the hassle of carrying it down the stairs out of the house. So anyway, we're going to have to find another way to get rid of all that stuff. They also delivered the recliner that we went in the shop and looked at and decided would be a great for Sarah. And unfortunately, they brought it in and it comes apart, so the back comes off. And I was putting the back and I kind of put my face up against it, and it reeked of cigarette smoke. And I was like, oh man. And I said to Sarah, it smells like cigarette smokes. And then we had it sitting in the room for less than half an hour. Yeah. Walked out and was doing something, came back in the room, and the whole room reeked of cigarette smoke. And we were like, this is not going to work. So we called them up, and they came back and picked it up. And actually, we offered to donate what we paid for it to them because they're a charity and they had to come and took their time. But the manager refused to let us do that and gave me back our 65 pounds. So yeah, that was a little bit of a adventure. It's unfortunate. So I guess number 3 on this is the website. So I've been working on an Isvren website and doing it in WordPress. And initially was having issues with it, but I think it's one of these things where I hadn't done a website in several years, and so trying to figure out the user interface and how it's structured, where the different elements in the website reside, because it's got this sort of hierarchical structure with templates and pages and various things, and I think I've kind of got control of that now. I spent yesterday doing that, so hopefully as I have time, downtime in between things, I'll continue to work on that, and hopefully by the end of this trip we'll have a functional website up and running. In addition, as I mentioned earlier, Craig continues to produce these amazing house plans, so hopefully when they're all done I'll post some of those. So at the end of the day, and this was all like really interesting because it was kind of fits and starts stuff, like people delivering things. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention that I got was I printed some pictures. I want to print large pictures to put on the walls, and so I printed a bunch of small ones. Actually, let me grab a couple of them here just to show you. So I know that this doesn't do it justice, but printed a bunch of pictures, and they came out really well, I think. So we're going to get some larger ones printed, and maybe not these particular ones, but I was just trying to pick a variety of shades and colors and darks and lights to get a feel for whether or not they'd come out and look nice. But I was pretty pleased with the end result. So at the end of the day, we went out on the deck and took time lapse and some videos and pictures of the sunset. And it was a gorgeous sunset, and the birds, the seagulls were all going nuts and flying around. It was just really, really lovely. And actually, I started the time lapse and I left it up there for an hour and a half actually. And I kept going out to stop it because we were out there, and then I came in to eat, and we were getting ready to go to the Carnarvon Canaries football match, and I kept walking up and thinking I was going to stop it, and I'd look out, and it was just continued to be beautiful. And as you'll see in the time lapse, which I'll cut over some of this, long after the sun went down, you had the tide going out and the reflection on the mud flats of the light from the sky. It was just really gorgeous, just a lovely sunset. So then after that, we walked over to the football ground, and so Carnarvon is in the Welsh Premier League, and I guess they're sitting sixth in the table?
Yeah.
Sixth in the table. Kind of mid-table. I think it's only 12 teams. So they were playing the number 2 team in the league. And it's funny because we told both Alan, who has season tickets, and Amir, who has season tickets, that we were going to go to this match, and they were like, "Oh, it's not going to be a very good match. They're going to get beaten." And we were watching the match, and in the first half it was 0-0, and Carnarvon was doing really well. They were generating lots of chances. They'd had better of the run of play, and I was thinking that in the second half they were going to likely to get worn down, and Connah's Quay would make adjustments, but they came out in the second half super high energy, and they ended up scoring a goal after about 60 minutes, and I couldn't really tell what happened on that goal. Actually, there's highlights online, so I'll post a link in the description to the highlights of the match. And then like 5 minutes later or so, they scored a second goal on a great header. and they could have scored more. So they were up 2-0, and then in stoppage time, Kaunas K got a penalty, and so they scored. So it ended up being 2-1. It was really a fun match to watch, and we saw our friend Alan there and had a nice chat with him at halftime. But it was great, and it's funny because I guess it's not funny, but this is why we're in Carnarvon. But everybody at the match was speaking Welsh. Every single person. I mean, we were the only people not kind of holding a conversation in English with each other. I don't think we heard it. And you know, they chant in English, all the songs. But yeah, so it was awesome. It was a great day, and really an example of why we're in Carnarvon. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.